And welcome back to the program. Glad you've joined us for our preview of the Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo. One of the big things, and you heard Darren Dale talk about this earlier, is the ride and drive. Well, to find out more about this, I'm at Kansasland Tires Warehouse in Wichita, Kansas, and Nick is here with me. Thank you very much for inviting us by.
You bet. Thanks for coming in. We're anxious to talk about it.
You know, for an old farm kid, I come in here and I just drool.
Tires are not in everybody's blood, but once they get in there, it stays there pretty deep.
Yep, that's right. Let's talk about this ride and drive event. This is something completely new to the Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo. In fact, I've never even heard of something like this at any other farm show. So how did all this come about?
Well, the ride and drive actually Titan's new LSW program, which is the low sidewall technology program, came about over the last several years. It's been actually in development for over 10 years, but really has got a lot of steam underneath it in the last 3 or 4. And in the last 2 years, they have done some ride and drives at some of the larger farm shows around the country. They haven't done any in this immediate area, so they were anxious to do something, and we were anxious to bring them in and have them do it for us.
You know, on our particular farm, I know that there are times, boy, you sure would like to try something and see what it's like before you pull the trigger and write such a big check anymore for tires.
Yeah, it's enormous how big those checks have to be for some of these tires. Just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is a big investment.
So you're going to have a set of these tires mounted up on a different tractors or two to have folks test them? Is that how that works?
Yeah, we're actually going to have 5 tractors, all fitted with different types of setups in the LSW technology tire wheel assemblies. And so there's going to be a variety of all the colors and all the styles, both four-wheel drive and mechanical front. So everybody's going to get a chance to come out and see the LSW. And what the LSW really does, it tries to get the best aspects of a tire and the best aspects of the tracks and bring those together to have the best of both worlds. So the LSW with a shorter sidewall and a larger diameter rim is going to allow for a much smoother ride down the road, no road lope. You know, have you ever been on a tractor where it starts to go, you got to back it off and start it over? You're just not going to feel that with the LSW. And in the field, the same thing with the power hop. You just don't get it. And by having the wider, narrower sidewall, your footprint is larger, so compaction is reduced, which is, again, a big part of concern for farmers when they want to get the most out of that farm ground.
Still limited slip too, like a traditional radial? Actually,
less slip than a traditional radial. It actually matches right up with tracks. So, again, kind of the benefits of both worlds. And so I actually have not been on a tractor with one either. Okay, I've seen the YouTube videos, I've heard all the stuff, I understand the theory, so I'm actually anxious to get on that first one too and open her up.
Good deal. And I can come by and try this too?
You bet. We're going to have a lot of time. It's all 3 days of the event, all day long, and we're going to try. We think we're probably going to have to, from the calls we've had coming in and the people that have called in and asked about it, you know, we really think we're probably going to have 225 a day trying to get through the tractors.
What a great opportunity. It goes back to what Kansasland Tire is all about. You told me before we went on the air that you guys are just a bunch of farm kids.
Well, most of us are all from Nebraska. Most of us, I mean, that have been in the company a long time. That's where Gary and Nancy Wright started the company back in '71. Farming's a big part of all of our blood, and it's been interesting as we've come into the big cities of Wichita and Denver. We're taking a little bit to task about, you know, how we do business, but we just do business the same way we always have, and it's worked real well for us, and we love the farm and we love the trucking industry. You know, we're big in the truck and the retrading business as well, so it's just what we do, and we like doing it. Yeah.
I know we're sitting here on a couple of tractor tires. We got one behind us, but you did mention that you also take good care of the trucking industry, and that's another big need.
Yeah, well, the farmers are truckers, you know, in today's environment with the size of things and the bushels that are being moved. So, yeah, we have 3 retread plants, one in Omaha, one in Topeka, and one in Wichita, and we do a lot of truck tire business as well.
You know, tires are the same way as all the rest of the technology in agriculture, I think. It's all kind of evolved. It's exciting to see where this may be headed.
Yeah, you know, radialization took, you know, kind of started to take over about 15 years ago slowly, and we're very heavily radialized now in the tractor tire business. It's bigger, you know, bigger horsepower, heavier equipment. So they've had to adapt tires a lot, and it has been interesting to see the the things that have worked and some of the things that haven't worked over time, because everything hasn't always been perfect. But you know, we've got some real good suppliers, and they stand behind what they sell, and that's one thing that we're very careful of as a company, to make sure that we match up our vendors with the same customer service aspects that we believe in.
Nick, one of the other things that impresses me about Kansasland Tire, everywhere I go it seems there's a location.
We have quite a few now. We have quite a few. We have 42 total, and that's in Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado now, and one down in Guyman, Oklahoma, one out in Lamar, Colorado that's fairly new with us. So yeah, we're spread out pretty good. You don't get too far away from anyone when you're in the 2 states that we call home, and even in Colorado now. So a lot of good people. We've got over 500 employees, so many of them that have been with us 10, 15, 20, 35 years. And that's really what makes us what we are.
And still taking care of the non-agriculture community also.
Sure. We sell truck tires, like I mentioned. We sell consumer tires. We sell lawn and garden tires. We sell the wheels to fit that. We do mechanical services. We run 62 service trucks right now for farm service and on the road service company-wide. So we're in all aspects. We come from small towns, so you have to kind of, one, you got to do it all, and two, you got to do it right, or you're not going to survive very long in these towns.
Yep. One more time, tell us about the Ride and Drive, the hours, and where it's going to be.
It's going to be at the Great Bend Farm Expo Center out on the west side of town. It's during the Great Bend Farm and Ag Expo. That is the 8th, 9th, and 10th, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it's during the entire show hours, which I believe are like 8 to 4, and then 8 to 7, and then 8 to 4 again on Friday. So we invite everybody to come out and join us. We're going to have some refreshments. We're putting up a big tent and a little barn. Got all kinds of tractors to drive, and probably a few stories to tell along the way.
I'll be there, and I invite everybody to join us. Fair enough?
That's great. We look forward to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. So be sure and join us. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of things to see and a lot of things to do and get your hands on at this year's Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo. Be sure and stay tuned. We'll be back with more right after this.